Graybeard Gaming. All right, hello, well, and welcome to Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Scott, and pineapple is an acceptable pizza topping. This week we are going to talk about Obsidian.
Positive.
Some. There you go. Some massive patches to current games. Tencent makes lawsuit bait. As always, I have with me David and Liam. So let's get into this. Now, this week we're going to start with Liam and then go to me because David has something special that I have no idea what it is, but we'll get to that last per his request. So, Liam, how was your week?
It was okay. I haven't had much time to game this week. I did play some Black Ops and some Life is Strange, which I did stream earlier on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the Life is Strange game. That's quite fun.
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
It's interesting right now, and it's really funny because you know how like there's a lot of industry sort of hate against inclusion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from social media anyway. I don't know how if people actually hate it, but this game is basically like lesbian the game, which is quite funny. Like everybody's gay in this thing, every man, every woman, like it's all like LGBTQ everything. It's like, oh well, and you're just going along in there. But I don't care, I just want to see what happens in the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's a modern setting, right? It's not.
Did you feel gay playing it?
It's not set in like the world of whatever with dragons and
it's not really when women hit on me and I have to be a woman for it. It's like oh well.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. So you've been streaming that?
Yeah, I streamed that earlier, and there's basically like a quick rundown of the story is you're Max, and she's at this new university that she's like teaching people, and she has this friend who just one day, like when they're hanging out, just gets a phone call, runs off. You catch up to her, and she's shot dead. I
hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I hate that when it happens. But then she figures out that she can timeline jump, so she can go between two timelines. One where she's alive, one where she's dead.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So do you interact with both timelines or converge them at some point, or is it?
Well, I'm not sure what happens, but you can go hopping to the different timelines and see hopefully see what the actual plot is and see why she died. So I don't know what happens at the end because I've just started episode 1.
What was the name of that game that you're a detective and you get killed? And then you as a ghost, you solve your own murder.
Oh, that was Murdered Soul Suspect.
Yeah. I didn't play that.
I don't think I actually finished that game because I got to a point and I was terrified.
What was it for?
It was for Xbox One and PS4, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a PS4, Xbox One game. Yeah. The devs shut down after that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think it did very well, but it made me think of that. I mean, it's obviously better than that game.
Yeah, on that murdered game, like you have these sort of demons that chase you, and the only thing I could think of at the time were these are Dementors from Harry Potter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
I got that reference.
And Life is Strange is like a story game. It's not really.
Yeah, it's a story.
You're not hiding undercover with a gun.
No, it's purely like dialogue and just.
Yeah.
Very much. How like Telltale do their games.
Right.
Very much that.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Cool.
That's cool.
But I love the other game, so I'm hoping this is a good one as well.
Yeah, this was done. We talked about this last week. It's not done by the same people that done by Don't Nod. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Deck 9 this time.
And I think Don't Nod had said maybe they're not going to continue this. Maybe they're going to continue this. Whoever's doing this one is probably going to continue it because they said they wanted to do larger games again because they did Remember Me, which was a like mega AAA game, and it didn't do very well. And then they just started making smaller games and felt like that was their better option. But then after, that was probably 10, 11 years ago. Now they're like, we want to make bigger games. So So yeah, I mean, this might be the new Life is Strange studio. Cool.
Yeah, see how this goes. I don't know how like it went in sales and how the reception is. I'm just gonna like tune myself out to that just to see how the game is, and then I can see
Well,
how it's actually done.
it doesn't matter if you like it, you like it. You
Yeah.
know? It's we know for a fact that reviews don't matter, especially when through the media, the regular media outlets. No Diablo 4 or
I don't know why I haven't played Diablo recently.
yeah.
Yeah, I seem to have fell off with that. But now I think it's Black Ops that's taking my time now. That's a new sort of grind. We're gonna have a new zombies map on the 5th. So that's really
yeah.
close.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna do they're doing a bunch of stuff for zombies as well. Hopefully it fixes the servers, because David and me know about that.
And server issues.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, we played a game and we got all the way to the Easter egg end, and the server died.
No way. Oh
Yeah.
my
Wow.
god. Oh my god.
That happened to me twice, actually.
Yeah.
playing Black
Really?
Ops.
Yeah.
Was it in the same
didn't happen
place
with
or
us.
just at the end?
Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah, one game I had, it was with you, and then
Yeah.
another game I had with somebody else. Same thing. It was like we got to like 28 or something like that, wave 28, and then it just crapped on us.
Oh, well, hopefully they fix it, because they're adding a ton
Yeah.
more stuff into it as well.
Oh my god.
Right.
Why? Of all people, you would think Call of Duty would have like the most pristine servers.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not like they, it's not like they haven't done this before.
It's not
Yes,
an
it's-
indie. It's not an
yeah.
indie title.
No.
It's only a small India studio with like 20 people working on the servers. That's what it feels like.
Right. For like 20 people that worked on like the eyeballs that go in the zombies. Yeah. Like, we need
If you look at
Huh?
you look at the camera view of the office where the servers are, and there's just people like
Yeah.
Right.
sleeping.
That's the nap
Servers are
area.
down.
That's the server
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, there's a fire in the corner. Everyone's
Right. Good God.
hopefully that gets fixed soon, because people, if your game
Yeah.
doesn't work, you're going to lose people, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially on the 5th. I'll get to that in a minute. Because of this, anyway. Was that it? Are you?
Yeah, it's
all
basically all
gamed
I-
out. Yeah.
Yeah, basically this week.
Yeah, I didn't play a whole lot this week either. I mean, with the holiday, I had plenty of time. We just had, stuff we were doing. But I did play some more Stalker 2. I'm really liking that game, but and this is just the me thing, but the desolation of that game kind of wears on you after a while. I mean, it's purposeful. The whole game is about you being out in the wilderness with weird stuff going on, and weird creatures and whatever's on your back. But I don't play that for long sessions because it does get kind of
Yeah.
eerie and anyway. But I still think it's a great game. They did patch it. There was a nice sized patch that hopefully fixed some bugs and stuff. But what I'd wanted to do over the Thanksgiving weekend was finish Metro Awakening, and I talked about that last week, how boring it is. So I put it on, and it said, oh, there's an update. I'm like, okay, cool. So I updated it and came back later, put it on, started the game, continued, corrupt save,
No.
and that was it. And I tried to, I think, and when I saw that, I remembered that Meta just like stopped their cloud saves. I think I probably should have looked that up, but I remember getting an email. It's like, hey, if you got any cloud saves, they're gone. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I'm not starting that game over. I feel like I got gypped. The first half of that, I played it for about 4 hours, and it was just boring. I got nothing out of it, and then to have to play those 4 hours again to get back to the point of possibly the next 4 hours being, or next 1 hour or whatever, is going to be just as boring. I've lost that. So, but I've more focused on getting my wife's streaming gear set up, and we moved her desk and redid the office and just made it more comfortable for her. Got her a new chair, She's on one computer now with 2 monitors, which was kind of weird at first for her, but now I think she really likes it. And she's got it down, and she's like, on it. So I've been doing a lot of that lately. I've been tech support / manager / producer / video editor /
slash husband / ninja.
Yeah, exactly. But this week, this get this. Okay, so this week we've got Path of Exile 2 comes out on the 5th, which I'm super excited about. I know you guys may not care, but so I will be playing that this week. Maybe Indiana Jones. Probably I'll try it out. Not really. After that last movie, I'm like, how bad could it possibly be? But Delta Force has an open beta on the 5th. And I recommend, if you guys like Call of Duty, I suggest trying this game out. You're both on PC. It's a free beta. The game is going to be free. This incorporates the larger, like, Battlefield type gameplay with vehicles and helicopters and all kinds of stuff. I read somewhere that it was the release date, so I got really excited about it just releasing. But no, it's just an open beta. So I guess I don't know when this game is going to come out, but I'm super excited about that. New zombie map, like Liam said, on the 5th as well. So this week is going to be hopping. But also a friend of mine that I play with, you guys might know, and Chris, been playing with him, Destiny buddy for 10 years now. Got a new PC. He took advantage of Black Friday and just went and got a really good deal on HP Omen. So he's like set up. We played Space Marines on it, and he's just
nice.
He's super excited. But he gave his old one to another friend of ours that only had an Xbox One X. And he couldn't play a lot of the new games with us. He could really only play Call of Duty. So now he's got an upgrade, and he's on PC. So we're slowly. I'm working on it, man. I'm slowly working on everybody going to PC. So
you will assimilate to PC.
There's plenty of room, and plenty of games, So, so that was fun. And this guy he was like, we were like, hey, check out Space Marines. He goes, oh, that game's crap. That's a bunch of crap. Like, you didn't even see it. He's like, I know it's crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just look at the video. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that looks pretty awesome. He's like, but I can't play it. I'm like, oh, that's why you said it looked like crap, because you can't play it. I forget that he's on Xbox One X. But now, of course, he can play it. So he's on PC, so which is awesome. And
no excuses.
It is on sale right now on Steam. There's a huge Steam sale. Did you guys get anything on the Steam sale? Because I did. No.
I really avoided Black Friday this year. I don't know why. I just felt like it's a scam. It's just every year it just keeps getting more and more like a scam. So I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, I went to the store on Friday only because I had to, and it looked like a regular Friday.
Yeah, you have to really look for the deals. Like, you can't really just go in there and be like, everything's on sale. No,
I just mean the people, like the amount of people around. It was just. I think Black Friday started like November 1st this year. I think it's just there's been so many deals. Yeah.
Yep.
So you get to that Black Friday and it's now like an all weekend thing, and and we went Christmas shopping on Sunday, and again it was just like a regular Sunday. So, but on Steam. I bought Halo Infinite campaign for $20. Then you might go, you're an idiot. Why don't you got Game Pass? Why did you do that? Because at some point I'm not going to have Game Pass. I want to get away from that altogether. I'm tired of paying for it. I'm tired of right now. I'm not even really getting my money's worth out of it. I will now, because I've been playing Call of Duty. I'll play Indiana Jones. And I feel that I will get my money's worth out of it. But then come January or whatever, I don't think I want to continue with it. And then that way, one of the only games on Game Pass that I play frequently is Halo Infinite. So I'm going to be I'll be able to continue that, playing the campaign on Steam. So Yeah. So, just slowly kind of getting away from that whole thing. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. So, without further ado, David, you're I'm
Well, don't hype me up too much because the story is gonna be a little sad. Okay.
okay.
And I have to start from the beginning, so it's gonna be a little long. But have you guys ever played Medieval Dynasty?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I play it in
I think I
VR.
have.
Really?
Yeah. Like you
Uh-oh.
chop the wood and you like get your
Yeah.
planks ready and
Yeah. Liam, you've never played it?
No, I don't think so.
it's a good
So
game.
it's basically like a survival game, but there's like a management system in it where you
Yeah.
manage your town and you tell people what to do and you start to develop, people in the town and stuff like that. So anyway, Gina got me into my wife got me into this game because she was like, "Oh, I'm back in." I think we played it like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it turns out I had the week off for Thanksgiving, and I had all these plans, and I didn't do any of them. I just played Medieval
course.
Dynasty all week. I mean, and I
Really?
played this shit. I played it like I was like 10 years old again. Like I played it for hours.
Wow.
And I mean, when I'm crafting, I'm getting up to take a piss because it's like the only time I'm gonna get off this game for a second. So we were having a great time. And when you're playing a game that much, you do a lot of research. You go, what's the best way to make money? What's the best way to
Right.
this? What's the best way to that? Right. So I come to find out that in order to continue the game, you have to sire an heir, because if you die,
Oh,
it's
that's
game
right.
over.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to get an heir. So I'm playing with Gina,
Right.
and she goes, I tell her this, and I tell her, listen, I have to get married and I have to have a kid. And she goes, I can't believe you're gonna have sex with somebody else. And I was like, and I said, honey, I'm not gonna enjoy it. Okay. so
That makes it all right.
yeah. So I mean, it was a funny moment. It was funny, but then, come to think of it, we find out that there is an update to the game. It's called the Autumn Update,
Yeah.
and it literally just dropped like a week ago.
Yeah.
So in that update, I posted on Reddit. I posted the whole story on Reddit, and everybody commented and said, you can marry the person that is in your game if it's the game doesn't explain it. You have to go through an emote. So I checked
Oh,
the emote
really?
wheel. I checked the emote wheel, and there's a proposal. So Gina, come over here. Come here. She's like, what? I'm like, just come here. Just come here. She comes here. I do the proposal emote. She goes, wow. And then the cinematic comes up. You're married.
Oh,
And
no way.
she's like, no way. And then she's like, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Stand right there. I'm like, what? And then another cinematic comes, and she's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, no way. Like it did the
Did we
emote
miss?
where she.
I think we missed something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you missed an emote there.
We built a house, yada yada yada. She's
Right.
pregnant, right? That's basically what happened, right? So check this out. She gets pregnant, and the game is in seasons, right?
Right.
So it's spring, summer, autumn, winter, and I think it takes around 4 seasons, something like that. 4 seasons and actually the game says trimester, right?
Wow.
Right. So it says trimester, but what they really mean is like seasons, right?
Yeah.
So a couple seasons go by. It says on her character she's pregnant, right? And in the game, when you go to sleep and it changes seasons, sometimes it will tell you that you had a birth in the village. If you have 2 people in your village that have had a birth, it'll tell you if somebody died. It will tell you whole bunch of stuff, right?
Right.
So we get a prompt that said deaths in the village. And
Oh no.
it says a name, a villager's name that we don't recognize from our village.
Yeah.
And it says age 0. It says age 0.
Oh no.
No.
And then a cinematic, like an image, appears on the screen of a man and a woman holding a baby, and there's like a fucking fire kiln, right next to that shit. And okay, so the season changes. I see that. I see the death note, and then
Yeah.
I see that. I'm like, that's fucking weird. What is that all about? I'm like, did you see that? She goes, I'm not pregnant anymore. I'm like, you're not?
Oh my
She goes, no.
God.
She goes, no. And I'm like, wait a minute.
She's like, I think I would know.
She's like, I think I miscarried.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy fucking shit. So check this out.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know this, but in my real life, me and Gina tried to have a baby and she miscarried twice.
Oh wow.
And the second time she miscarried, okay, I don't want to get too into it, but
Right.
she went into labor in my house and she birthed a stillborn. And it was very traumatic for the
Oh my
both.
God.
It was very traumatic for the both of us.
Well, yeah. I'm
and,
sorry.
And so after this time after this thing in the game happened, Gina starts crying. And she starts saying, I can't even have a baby in a video game.
Oh man.
And we shut the game off.
Oh man.
And the whole night was ruined. We played for a full week straight and we don't even want to play the game anymore. And the whole time I'm thinking, why the fuck would the developers put this shit in the game? Like, what is the significant... and I started thinking in my head, we got games where you can shoot people. We got games where you can run people over. There's really no limit. But is this really necessary to be put in the game?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to bring this up. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, is this shit important?
I think what makes this relevant is that you and your wife are playing this game, and you and your wife actually got married in the game, and you and your wife built a house which somehow made a baby. So I think that in that instance, yes, you're kind of you're making it personal. Not you. I mean, like the game itself.
Yes.
It's actually making it personal. I don't think the devs may think that two people being married would actually do that in the game.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's something that you should go on their discussion board and goes, hey, this is what happened. You might want to reconsider, or at least consider putting that into, hey, if you do this, it's not guaranteed. Or, patch 12 will have actual babies, or something, I don't know. I mean, is it can you, so, but yeah, that's I don't want to say an isolated incident, but that's obviously not something that normally happens. But yeah, I think it's worth maybe bringing it up on a discussion board and saying, hey, this is, you might want to maybe put a disclaimer, or at least, before you propose to someone. It is medieval times, obviously, things aren't guaranteed, but is that a game mechanic? Does that happen to everyone, or is it?
Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion before I said the next thing. And the next thing is, I did post on Reddit what happened this morning. I posted, and I am getting a flood of outpouring of people who are saying things like, hey, my wife had a miscarriage too.
Yeah.
And people are being very supportive, sending you positive energy, and we're so very sorry that happened to you. And I'm also getting a lot of people that are saying, this sounds like a bug. This doesn't sound like something that the developers intended.
I don't know. A bug with its own animation, and I don't know.
Unanimously, everybody said that they've never had a child die in the game.
What?
But,
unanimously. Now, yeah.
But the animation's in there? Like,
was this added with the new update?
So here's the thing. Some people have said that what I described, the image that I described, was the image that happens when you have a child.
Okay.
Oh.
So those images were the same, and maybe when I seen the note that said somebody died, and then I saw that image, I put two and two together, and I basically was like, this seems like it was intended. And obviously, if you see the death note and then you see that image, you're gonna be like, this
Yeah.
shit must have been intended. But other people that have sunk like hours and hours into this game said that's never happened. Now, I've even seen somebody comment on Reddit and say, like one person commented on Reddit and said, don't like just shoot his idea down or his experience down because the update literally just came out like a week or two ago.
That's true.
So yeah, it could be a glitch, but it also could be something that was added. We don't really know. Another person said that they actually went to the official Medieval Dynasty Discord and they commented and they said things like that doesn't sound correct. That sounds like the developers didn't program that in for children to die. They also said things like when a couple has a baby in the game, usually a crib appears, and they were asking things like, did you change homes? And maybe
trying to find out maybe trigger.
There's a crib in somebody else's home,
right?
But we were in the same house the entire game. We never moved houses. As a matter of fact, I kept getting followers, people to my village, and I wanted to put them in my house, and I couldn't figure out how, because I could never get myself out of the house. Every time I went to the icon to remove myself, it just wouldn't remove. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to build another house and just put them in it, and I'm not going to let them take mine, because I wanted to upgrade my house. So everybody's got a big house except me. I have the small one. But me and Gina are staying in the small house. There was never a crib. And again, I had gotten a prompt that somebody died, and it said age 0. And people have said, when you have a baby in the game, the age is 0. And like I said, the name wasn't familiar. Me and Gina were both like, "Who's this person?" I'm like, "I don't know this person. I don't know who this person is." And then I went through the management tab to see all the people in my village, and I even counted it. I said, okay, I have 2 sets of couples, and they both have children, and then I have one farmer guy who's by himself in another house.
Yeah.
So like, for all intents and purposes, like in the game, she miscarried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like the strangest fucking thing.
That is weird.
It was just so weird and like worst possible. I don't know. It just really triggered us.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but again, Reddit has been absolutely wonderful. They've been so nice on there, and even trying to figure things out. A lot of them said what you said. A lot of them said you should really message the developer. Said that developers are very supportive of the people that play their game and stuff like that, so they may respond to you. I don't really know how to go about because they were saying things like you should figure out how to get that saved to them. That maybe it's a corrupted file or something.
Just go to their website if they have like a community forum or something.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of developers read the community forums on Steam and Reddit. It just depends. But if they reach out to you, they could probably take your save or at least,
Well, it's on console, so I don't know how they're going to be able to do it, but
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's not. I mean, for me, that's not really that important that they get the save, and if anything, they could just know that this happened, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was just.
Yeah,
that's the craziest fucking thing.
Well, yeah, you're right though. I mean, it's like if you get disclaimers for just about anything. There's spiders in this game, or there's flashing lights, or there's that maybe that's something to be considered.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. It's
which is interesting how this sort of came about. Now I've listened to the story. Because on one hand, I'm like, why have that in the game? Just take that out of the game. If it is a bug or intentional, whatever, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it's a beautiful thing to go on Reddit and everyone doing that support for you.
Yeah.
Because you had that experience.
Yeah.
So it does also show that side of like the gaming community, like bringing together as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gamers.
No, yeah. Reddit, I love Reddit. I'm kind of new to using it, and once I started playing and I started really getting into this game, I was like, oh, let me see if there's other people. And every time I search something on about a game, Reddit pops up.
Yeah,
Somebody said something
it's
about
always
something.
Reddit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go to Reddit and yeah, no, they've been great. A lot of people have said said their testimonials. Me and my wife have been trying for years, and we thought we were going to give up, and then we had, I mean, personally, the experience was traumatic for us, so I don't think we're gonna go through with it. But I mean, life is like that. Like life doesn't care about your plans. So there's
Yeah.
something.
It's got its own
I
plans
think,
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just a lot of experience for a lot of women that they have miscarriages. I mean, most people I know did. So my mum did, and a lot of my family did. So unfortunate, stuff that happens.
I feel like it's one of those things, and this is, I mean, after experiencing it, I feel like it's one of those things that like doesn't really get talked about all that much. You
No,
you always
really
hear
doesn't.
this person had a baby and that person had a baby and oh yeah, it was 9 months of this and 9 months of that. Nobody ever really talks about the children that they lose, and nobody ever really talks about how hard it is to make a baby. I think I remember hearing Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about like the odds of you having a baby are really like low. So he was saying that like you should actually be really happy to be alive, because the odds of you being born are low and you made it, so you should actually really be happy about it. So yeah, it's just a wild thing. It was sort of like bad time in the worst. I think I commented to somebody else. I was like, worst possible way in the worst possible time. that it could have happened.
Yeah, that's I don't really know how to combat that. Like I said, if you put a disclaimer or something in it, it kind of spoils it, I guess, as far as like a survival game. But at the same time, but like I said, your situation is kind of unique, that you and your wife are playing, and you both got married in the game, and but I mean, they can't really consider everything, I guess, when they do this. And
it was just so unexpected. Like it just, and like I said before, when you see the image of like the three people holding the baby, and then they see the crematorium type thing, and I'm like,
yeah.
Wait, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
right
that's dark, man. I didn't know that game.
It really was, and I was like, I gotta tell this to the guys, but at the same time, I was like, this is gonna be a little sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a wild. I mean, aside from all that, the game is great. I think the game is really cool. I think there's a lot of really cool things. It's a bit janky at times. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's cool, and look, there was a moment where I was like, I don't know how we're gonna get around this, if I die, game over, and then for me to find out, oh wait a minute, we can have a child together, two multiplayer people from another can come in and have a sire, a baby, which is kind of wild thing to put in a game. Actually, I think Sims should have that. Sims doesn't have that feature.
Wow, of all games, right? It seems like that would be the one to have. Well, this is they only recently added co-op, didn't they? Because I remember playing this when it first came out. The beginning of the game is completely different now than it was when it first came out. The beginning was basically just like you wake up, I think your father or something dies, and then you have to go find your uncle in this town, and then your uncle's kind of like, yeah, sure, here's some money, go make a house, and then you're off doing your survival stuff.
Yeah, I did play it when it kind of first came out, and I don't really remember the story. I do remember it looking like absolute shit.
Yeah, it was not in a good state.
And it was playing like shit, and your character was like when he ran. So it does look a lot better. It plays a lot better. It doesn't play like I feel like it should yet. Like right when it should be there. But it does play better. There's a lot more things to do. A lot of cool mechanic things. And I mean, I remember playing it multiplayer. I don't really remember playing it single player.
I think I'm thinking of the VR version, because I know the VR version
Oh,
got
okay.
co-op as well, and maybe they added co-op to this like a while back.
Yeah.
Because me and another friend we were playing it, just obviously not together, and then later, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do co-op," and I guess that might have been like last year. I don't know. Time is just
Yeah.
irrelevant, but I like
Yeah.
that game. It reminds me of a deeper Kingdom Come Deliverance. Which is
Okay.
not necessarily a survival game, but it kind of is. There's survival
Yeah.
mechanics in it. But this one this is a medieval simulation. It's not. There's no wizards, and you're not pulling swords out of stones and slaying dragons with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and in VR, it's really cool too, because you can make a pub or a restaurant, and then you can like cook
Yeah.
food for people and serve drinks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's just daily stuff,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not-
Something that somebody said in a YouTube video about the game was, it's not a fast game. Like, they're like, you should be taking your time in the game.
Yeah.
And just enjoying yourself and experiencing the game. And once I heard that, I was like, you know what? He's probably right. And when I took that advice from him, I enjoyed the game that much
Yeah.
more, because I didn't feel like, because you can get wrapped up in all the things you have to do. You have to feed your people, and then you have to build them a house, and then you have to go out and mine copper so you could sell some shit because you're fucking poor, and then you
Right.
gotta spring is here, so you gotta plant
Yeah.
your shit, because you can't plant anything in the winter.
Right.
So you gotta plant your shit, and then you gotta harvest it in the autumn. So there's a lot of really cool little things to it. I definitely, I mean, I don't know if this is new, what they added, but in the settings there were things that you can change about the game. Like, for example, we didn't like paying taxes. We don't like
Whoa.
paying taxes in real life.
Right.
Yeah, who does? Yeah.
But it's just, especially in the very beginning, it's so hard to make money in this game.
Yeah.
That the taxes, the more you build your village, the higher the taxes, obviously.
Well, of course. Right.
So like the first time I paid taxes, it was like 200, and I was like, that's not that bad. And then my village was bigger, so the second time I had to pay taxes, it was like 700, and
Yeah.
all I had was like $300 to my name.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
and
How
then
the
they
fuck
come
am I supposed to get
like cut your hand off or something.
Well, I think if you miss a bunch of payments, it's game over. They like
String you up.
They run you out of town or something like that. Like,
They invade you. Get out.
hang him.
Right.
So like you can turn that off. You can make the days go longer in the seasons, because I think it's
Yeah.
like only 4 days. It's only 4 days per season, and you really don't feel like you get enough done in that 4 days. So I was like, you know what? Let's make it like 6. Now Gina thinks it's too long, but I'm like, nah, 6 is I like 6. There's so much to do, So yeah, there's little parameters that you can change about the game. I wonder if there's a parameter to change where you don't have to sire an heir, and you can just sort of like keep living, and just keep continuing with the game, because I get you dying, game's over if you don't have an heir to play.
Right.
Yeah, it's just strange, because like when that initial incident happened about the game, I started to question, like, what's your criteria for putting real, quote unquote, realism in a game? It's like yeah, you say, like, when I thought they were adding this miscarriage mechanic in the game. When I thought in my head, okay, you added this miscarriage thing, but people get disease and die from that, but you don't have that in the game.
Right.
So,
right.
like,
That's what I was
why
going to
did you-
ask you. Can you get a
Yeah, like,
scratch and you die from a staph infection?
You can literally drink from a fucking river, and you're fine.
Yeah.
That shit does not. I don't care what time you live in. You drink from a river, you're fucked. Okay. At the very least, you have diarrhea tomorrow. Tomorrow you
Right.
have full blown diarrhea. So, like, you don't even fucking boil the water. Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? So, like, so you could do that, but
Yeah.
You know what? We should really add miscarriage. I think that's a real zinger. Like what? Like, huh? I started thinking in my head, like, what? Why that? Like, I mean, how about tuberculosis?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like a thing back then? Like, but you know, I think
The
I honestly,
plague? I don't know.
yeah, the plague, yeah, the Black Plague. But honestly, I mean, no disrespect to the developers. I'm pretty sure it's just a glitch, and maybe I'll reach out to them and let them know. Yeah, I love your game, but this thing kind of
Yeah.
ruined it.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
Maybe. Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know where to go from that, David.
Maybe we should have saved it for the end.
Hey, have you ever played Mario Kart? No. Well, we've got a couple of things in the news to talk about, and one of them is this is more of a question, and I don't, we talked about it, and I want to steer away from a lot of the controversy that games, well, these developers kind of make for themselves, but I know how I feel about it, and I just want to get your guys' opinion, kind of like what you did. I want to tell you about this. You probably already know it, but the art director for Avowed, one of the games that I was really looking forward to playing, said some really stupid crap on Blue Sky, and even attacked Elon Musk, of all people, which is probably not a good idea. I just saw a picture with him and the future president. Basically saying that they don't hire white people for Obsidian, and that anybody that didn't vote the way he voted should, just be, tortured. But regardless of what he said, he's representing the art direction of Obsidian and using Obsidian's name to say these things. And what do you guys think about that? I mean, how do you take that, and then how do you perceive the game, or how does it affect your anticipation or the view of that game when someone does stuff like this? Because this is not the first time this has happened. We're seeing this more and more. So I don't know. So I mean, like I said, I know how I feel. What do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'm glad. I mean, I've been trying to find what he said exactly. So I'm glad
I got it. I mean, so he said, he said, reminder to black artists out there who are looking for portfolio reviews or job advice. My DMs are open, and you will always have priority. We got too many crusty white dudes in this field. Please let me help you replace me one day. I want to go back to living in the woods. I don't understand what that part means, but and then Elon Musk took that, and he on Twitter he sent it to the CEO of Microsoft and basically said, "Is this legal?" So it's kind of like, it's not legal, by the way. It's absolutely not legal. So also he commented on Elon Musk saying having pronouns in a fantasy game is utterly unacceptable. He says, I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default, you sad little shit. So yeah, so it's I mean, I don't know what is wrong with this guy.
Yeah, I think he's fucking stupid, just to be honest.
Well, obviously he's he's a moron, right? But keep in mind though that he's talking about the game. He's saying, obviously racial things. Obsidian, who he works for, nor Microsoft have stated anything. Other people, other higher ups at Obsidian actually retweeted what he said.
Yeah.
Or commented on it. So I don't think he's alone in that thinking, obviously, because if someone said this, if you had a game coming out and someone from the art department was on some social media talking like this, you would probably at least tell him to shut up and go online and go, his opinions or whatever are not indicative of
Yeah.
everyone hear it. That did not happen.
Yeah, and I mean, when I say, let me elaborate. When I say I think he's stupid, I think it in the same way that you said, like he has a platform, and behind him is Obsidian, and he has his own opinions about the way the world works and
Yeah.
what his view is on all that, and that's separate from the video game that he's creating,
Right.
you know. And it's like, you know, we don't give a shit about any of this, and they shouldn't be connected to each other. I remember a few times where I worked for, you know, a big utility company, right? And there were a couple of times when on my lunch break, I do a quick video and I have my fucking uniform on, and I go, wait a minute, I shouldn't post this. And I
Right.
wasn't saying anything. I wasn't saying anything stupid, or I wasn't. I was just joking around, you
Yeah.
know. But I noticed before I posted that video, I noticed I'm wearing my fucking uniform, and I just deleted the video.
Yeah.
That's
As
simple.
you should.
That's simple,
You should,
folks.
just in
Yeah.
case. Right.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, you know, my opinions are my own. They're not associated with this other thing, you know. And I really wish people would just kind of like understand this, you know, that you shouldn't drag, you know, everybody in with you when, you know what I mean? So it's like, you can have your opinions if you want. If you really believe that, that's fine. Just like you said, just shut the fuck up about it. Like, you know, like, other people hate Elon Musk. Like, you're not the only one that hates Elon Musk. Like,
Right.
This is not a fucking new, like, you know, you're not breaking the mold or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like, you represent this corporation and this company. And look, I mean, hey, listen, if the whole company believes that, and the whole company is like behind 100% everything that they believe and everything that they say, well, then let the chips fall where they may. And if nobody buys your fucking games, then nobody's gonna buy your games, and that's that, I guess. You know, I mean,
That's yeah. Liam, what's your take on that?
Well, I didn't realize the latter part of what he said, which, you know, when you said that. So yeah, that's definitely out of order.
Yeah.
To say that. But yeah, because I only saw like the first part of it, and that's when he was going against Musk and some other people who were like complaining about the fact there's pronouns in the game. It's the only thing I saw at first, not that second part, which is completely unacceptable. But I do want to sort of side with the developers on some stuff like that, because they make these games, and regardless of what you think, you know, like your game should be, I guess. I mean, if you're looking forward to a game, you expect certain things in it. But like, do pronouns really matter? Is that like the deal breaker for a game?
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
it for an RPG? And then the developers have to go, you know, on these websites, on these social medias, with every single freaking person complaining about the DEI, the woke, and all this other crap that happens day in, day out that I see on Twitter. I would get mad too. I'm just saying that. So I get that people like complain, and the developers will sort of fight back and be like, well, this is my game, so screw you. I get the frustration of when they post that. At the same time, they have to know who's posting it, and, you know, that everyone actually sees it, you know, and he does represent Obsidian. So, but it does get to you, you know, social media. I can't stand it. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when I play a game, I just want to play the game. I don't care about the politics. You know, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of it.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of us are. I mean,
Yeah.
these games. Well, just like Life is Strange, it is relevant. It is a modern game. It is the characters in it. It's relevant, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Having all of that in a now pronouns. I don't care about pronouns. But what people get mad at is that when they see pronouns in a game, a fantasy game set in a world that is not ours, with dragons and swords and magic and shit, that it sends a signal. It's a signal that it is part of the message. You're going to get preached to. You're going to be told how to, handle situations with trans or non-binary, and it's going to be just like another HR meeting, and the same shit we get at work, and the same stuff we see on social media, and then it just rolls it all into the same thing. Whether those are there or not, it doesn't matter. You've sent the signal that we're making a game to send a message. We're not making a game for people that love playing games. Now, with Avowed, that might be I would hope that that's not the case. That there are people at Avowed that are like, we love making RPGs. Yeah. This is what we want to do. We love fantasy RPGs, and we want to make this, and this is going to be the best one ever. It has pronouns in it because Microsoft actually has, or used to have priority on. That we've seen the list. They've put it online. It's like you can't have a female character stronger than a male character. Sorry, you can't have a male character stronger than a female character. You have to put pronouns in your game. So these things are mandated by the people that own the company. So if you have to do that, if you have to do the bare minimum in there and still make a fantasy game, you're going to have pronouns. That's just it. Okay? But saying the other stuff that he said, you really should just shut up about your game and not engage with people that are mad about it. What happens is that if you don't engage with them, you don't give them any fuel, and they forget about it, and then later they either buy your game or they don't, and let the game speak for itself. But for some reason now we've got the developers fighting against the people that buy the game, and I've never seen that before, and it's dumb, and it's reductive and stupid.
That's the thing, because of social media and because of the internet, because it just gets so vile. Every day.
But Liam, it gets vile because other people give them fuel to be vile. If that guy had not said anything, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
I know that, and I know you should ignore it, but at the same time, they're just people.
No, I get it.
Everyone will get tired of it eventually, and we're just at a boiling point where everyone just wants their opinion to be above everyone else, and everyone just argues.
Yeah. And, they're not in it to make games, though. They're in it to make a point. They're in it to get rid of the crusty white guys. I guess that's me.
Yeah. Get on the podcast. We don't want crusty old white guys now. It's just young ones.
Right. We did get one comment in our podcast, and the guy was just, do you guys play games? I think I don't know. I think he was like coming us like, do you guys like, you do play the games, right? I don't know what he meant by that, but I can only assume that he's like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Right? I don't know. But I don't. I just said thanks for watching.
I mean that what you said is I think really the crux of it all, because like,
what's that?
I think that, like, and I've experienced this being in a band and putting your shit out in the world.
Yeah.
I think that people, they've just lived, like Liam said, in this social media world for so fucking long.
The bubble, yeah.
Right, where you can say things and you think what you're saying matters to the fucking world.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, whatever you said has zero consequence to you. Nobody's gonna bust through your door and punch you in your face, right? So with that, I feel like there's this degradation. And I mean, maybe I'm getting too philosophical right now, but I feel like there's this degradation of how people don't know how to fucking communicate anymore.
Oh no, that's
not at all.
That is completely accurate. Added to the fact that we were stuck in for 3 years in 2020, that did not help.
Yeah,
because we were stuck online, all of us.
Right,
and God knows what happened there and what people said.
Listen, I put up a music video for a band once, and I got like 20 comments that I'm telling you, I had no fucking clue. Like you said, you don't know what it means. Like, I have no fucking clue what like
the words
insulting.
Don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds insulting, but it doesn't. So like, what are you trying to be funny? The thing is like to convey humor through words. Like, it takes a little bit of talent to do that. It's not that easy. So people are like, they think they're funny and they're not.
Yeah.
And then they write some shit and they think you get it. And it's like, I don't fucking get what you're saying. You sound aggressive, but I'm really not sure. So I really don't know how to take this, you know? So, so I think there's a lot of that going on. And then on top of that, you have this, like, I hear that. I see that comment. And I don't know how to fucking respond to it. So I get angry. So I comment, you know? So I think that that's probably what's happening in this case. Like, this guy... If he's mad about the world, he's angry about the way the world is right now. Listen, everybody's fucking angry about the way the world is right now. But you can't lose your fucking mind and you can't lose your cool and just start saying crazy shit, you know, because you got to pick your fucking words and pick your battles. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably what he didn't know how to fucking communicate. He didn't know how to say what he was going to say. And he just had, you know, word throw up on the fucking screen.
I mean, he might have had a few or... you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not that I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but
he may have been drunk texting.
Well,
who knows?
You know, but it doesn't matter. I know that if I did the exact same thing, at citing the company that I work for, I wouldn't have a job tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
As soon as someone saw that, I would get a phone call, and I mean, that would be it.
You're canceled.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and but this guy's, you know, he's not getting fired. He's not. They're not doing anything because. And what irritates me the most though is that the Obsidian is they haven't stated an apology. Microsoft hasn't stated anything. Obsidian, this is what they think. This is what they want. And in their mind, it is them against us. They want to make us accept whatever they put out, but yet they're going to charge us for it. And for in some stupid alternate dumb shit universe, you know, that they live in, that makes sense, but it really doesn't. And again, this is the best way possible in 2024 to fucking kill your game, like literally, just kill it. I, for one, and I'm just saying this, I'm not suggesting to you guys or anybody else, I'm not giving them a fucking dime of my money. I was really looking forward to this game. I'm not playing it on Game Pass. I'm not buying it. I'm not giving them Obsidian. The Obsidian that I like is gone. All these studios, these are all different people. They're gone.
They will.
Chris Avalon, who started Obsidian back in the day, I don't know if you know who that guy is. I followed his career. This guy writes some of the best RPG shit. He is phenomenal. He worked on New Vegas. He worked on a lot of Obsidian games and some other stuff that you probably didn't know he worked on. But in, I think, 2018 or something, he was part of the Me Too movement. A couple of women came forth and said that they were sexually harassed by him. He fought it in court, and it took him 4 years, and he lost his job. He couldn't get hired. Nobody wanted to hire him. He sued these people, these two people, for like 7 figures. Won, and they came back and said they whatever they said was misrepresented, and that he didn't do that at all. So most people don't have the money to do that, to fight that. Right. He did, and he won, because these people were they wanted him out of the studio, and that's how they did it. So he came back and said, based on recent news, if you were rejected from an art position at Obsidian in the past few years, call a lawyer. Discrimination in hiring, especially for Microsoft Studio, can ensure you don't need to apply for a job ever again. So, pass that on. So anyway, I'm tired of this shit. 2024, it cannot be over quicker. We've got some really good games this year. I mean, some stellar games this year, and we also got a bunch of bullshit that did not need to happen. And I really just I'm excited for studios to get back to just making games that people want to play, and we'll give them money for it. That's how it works. Anyway,
I was just going to add
Yeah.
as well, because
go ahead.
I think as something that we've lost really when it comes to games is, you know how we used to have all the gaming magazines and, you know, gaming journalists and things like
Yeah,
that.
actual
events.
journalist. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we lost that as well, and that's for the worse.
Yeah, I don't
Because
think that
that
helps
could-
either
because
they're
that's all
in
gone.
it. They're against us as well.
Yeah, but that's all gone. Like all that event stuff, and just like it's gone now. So what is your source of information? Well, the internet. What's on the internet? Social media, and it's just a cycle. Like where's the positive, you know, reception? It's not going to be
Right
anywhere
here.
if developers.
Graybeard Gaming.
Yeah.
Well,
if
we
developers
try.
keep doing that, you know, it's
I know, right? It's getting harder and harder to talk about this, and I'm not excited about shit now. How can you
Yeah.
get excited about anything? It's like Indiana Jones. Is somebody from Machine Guns Games going to go, "Oh, if you're white, fuck you," you know? It's like what? Why? What is going on? Like why
So-
do this?
Yeah. So that's why I basically unplug myself from like social media. I'm like, oh look, there's a game. Will I buy it? Will I like it? I don't know, and just
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of us could really benefit from unplugging, and just going and playing some single player games,
yeah,
and
just,
go from
Yeah.
there. But
just,
you know, I mean, sometimes this needs to happen.
It does. If this like keeps happening, there's an industry change that needs to happen.
Right, exactly.
So that does need to be talked about
Right.
as
Yes.
well.
And it's going to happen because all of the developers that are doing this, that are being just complete assholes, they're losing money. They're getting laid off. Their studios are
Yeah.
closing. I mean, we see it every time a game comes out. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be more. You know, we'll look to next year as a little bit more positive, hopefully. But with that being said, I do have some positive news. Actually, we've got some patches, and I know this patches. You're thinking, well, what the fuck? You know, patches is not a big deal, but we have one for Space Marine 2. But let me give you the lowdown on this. Okay, so this is patch 5.0, and it's going to come out first half of December, just next couple of weeks. And then it's going to make the Neo Volkite pistol, which is like the beam pistol. It's really cool. Available in PvP. We get some anticipated Dark Angels chapter pack, which is Dark Angels are awesome. I mean, they're just like all like black, shiny. They're awesome. Anyway, a new operation called Obelisk. The Dark Angels chapter pack features the Dark Angels champion, which is a unique armor set, and then you get some weapon cosmetics and all kinds of stuff. Free.
Free.
I like
free.
that.
Right.
I like that price.
Baldur's Gate 3 is getting a major patch next year as well. Hopefully in the next couple of months. It's due out in 2025, but it adds crossplay, which we don't have previously, photo mode, which it desperately needs, and 12 new subclasses. Free. Absolutely free. These are not microtransactions. These two games do not have microtransactions. This is just the developers going, hey, you like our game? Here, have some free shit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I swear, this year, if it wasn't for Owlcat, Saber Interactive, and Larian, I think I'd just throw my computer out a window. And then, and also Tencent, because
Yeah.
they made a game. Have you seen this? They made a game called
Yeah.
Light of Motorim. I don't know. Those are just.
I thought it
letters
was
put
called
together.
Zero Dawn Horizon.
That's maybe.
No, it was Horizon Forbidden East.
Yeah, but okay. Forget what it looks like, because it obviously is taking the aesthetics from the game sounds actually pretty cool. It is. This is what the description on Steam. In a world overrun by colossal machines, explore the vast open world, build your base of operations, advance technology, train mech animals. That sounds like a McAnimals. It sounds like something you get in a McDonald's
It sounds
Happy
like an
Meal.
80s commercial.
Yeah.
Mechanicals.
Mechanicals are at McDonald's.
Fuck yeah! Psh, lightning.
Right. Chomp.
Wow.
Damn, David. And take on formidable bosses, starting with the primitive age, forge a new path of development, defy the machination, survive the mechanimals. So this is like a base building survival game. It's not anything like Horizon.
Is that just a bad translation, or is that actually it?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like whoever wrote that makes eggs for his wife and goes, I hope you're excited to eat that.
Right?
Shut the fuck up.
Look, this omelet is eggs.
I'm cracking up. I'm going to go write something for this game now.
Right. Hey, we need the Steam description. So this is going to be free to play. It's going to come out probably next year. I want to play this. if Sony doesn't sue them into existence.
Oblivion, yeah.
So this is, it's Tencent. It's from China. So their copyright laws over there are really loose, like not non-existent. It does look very similar to Horizon Zero Dawn. It sounds way more interesting to me, and the protagonist, the main character, or the character I guess you can create, I don't know if that's the protagonist, but actually looks like a woman. So that's some pluses, I guess, if you're, looking for that. But yeah, I've got to play this. I've got to play it just to the fact that Tencent, just being Tencent, it does look cool.
Yeah.
It actually,
It just reminds me of like those mobile games, which I'm pretty sure is Tencent anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Those mobile games where you have like the big ones like Clash of Clans, and then there's one next to it that says Clan Clashing Hero Game.
Oh, they go way. It was like, what was that game? It was like Gears of Raw or something like that. And it's just it looked just like Gears of War, but it was a phone game. And there was a Halo game. And there was a game that looked just like Halo. And
it's pretty much that. They went, stick it to PC.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mood, which is like Doom. No, now I'm just making shit up. But yeah, this is coming out next year. It's going to be free to play, and I don't know. I don't know what to expect from it as far as like numbers and player count. But I think a lot of people are going to be like me, that are just like, it's free to play. It's completely ripping Sony off. I got to play it. I got to try it. Sony needs to a little slap every once in a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I had to. I want to make one addendum to our last week's show. I have to update my thoughts on the last segment that we had about PlayStation making a handheld, and I feel it was a bit contradictory because I think that in the future, not in the immediate future, but the far future, that consoles will be handhelds. I don't think that we'll have things that connect to large TVs, or maybe the ability to, but I think they will be handhelds because they will be portable and cost effective and whatever. But I just think that Sony making a console as being reactionary to Xbox is just not a good idea.
I mean, I don't know if it is actually reactionary to Xbox.
It absolutely is. They do that to anything Microsoft does.
But I mean, like before the actual Portal came out, there were talks about them doing a handheld.
There was rumors of them doing a handheld, and that handheld ended up being the Portal. So,
I mean,
it's going to determine if this thing comes out next year. Liam, you were right. If it comes out the year after, I'm right. So, I mean, we got to look at it like that.
I'm pretty sure they said it's not coming out for a couple of years at least. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because actually, Sony I think confirmed it. Even like they had plans. I don't know. Might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was confirmed.
It's going to be reactionary. I just hope they do a good one. And Microsoft as well. I don't want to rehash on this, but I want to see some innovation again in this stuff.
Yeah.
Microsoft has done. We forget about some cool stuff that the actual Xbox Series S and X do that the PlayStation absolutely does not. But if they're going to make handhelds, it's got to be powerful, and it's got to be more than a handheld. It can't just be the console and a handheld. It's got to be something else. Because the Switch 2 specs look really good, surprisingly. And And I know that they've signed a deal with Microsoft to bring Call of Duty to the Switch. And from looking at the specs on the Switch 2, it could absolutely run it with no problem whatsoever. So, that's...
I mean, it's a different market now because of the Switch, and now we've got the Steam Deck
Handhelds
and all the other handhelds. So handhelds are the future again, I guess. So that's where we're going, seems to be.
I think so. Yeah. It makes more sense than to have this box that plugs into your TV. I can't...
Yeah.
I got 2 TVs in the house, and we don't even use them. Like we turn them on we turn one on for the dog when we're gone, and we just don't watch TV, or if we do, it's just for like a one show. I mean I watch everything on my computer.
Anything. Talking of Xbox, because you said like Xbox is doing more stuff than PlayStation when it comes to the series consoles. I did read reports on the PS5 Pro, and have you seen what's happening with the updates on that?
You mean like the game updates or the updates to the actual console?
The actual game updates for the Pro. Half of them are balked and not working.
Ooh.
That actually make it look worse than the base PS5.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Ooh, that's... Why were those not tested before the console was launched?
So... Yeah, that's the thing that I think Sony sort of rushed to do a lot of things, because Microsoft just do some things easy with the series consoles. I don't know why they haven't kept doing them, but limitations apparently. But like series consoles can do auto HDR, they do 4K on old games.
Yeah.
In the 360 games, they do FPS boost, and they've got what is it called? FSR, that AMD do. Yeah. So that's kind of in the works still, getting there. But Sony came out, did their own sort of upscaling technique, and it's not ready. Or it is ready and developers aren't ready for it. Because it's like when DLSS came out first, so you have to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with DLSS. I mean, it was like, hey, on this demo that NVIDIA made, it works perfectly great. But when you apply it to a game, it didn't work so hot.
Yeah. So Sony have made this upscaler and gone, so we got this upscaler, buy the Pro, test it out.
Yeah. Beta testing.
That's what it is. It's beta testing for the PS6. That's what it is.
Well, it's consoles are good. Xbox gets, sometimes they deserve it, but they do get kicked in the nuts a lot with the developers because it is better hardware objectively, but to utilize that better hardware and to get a little bit more out of the games, you have to put a little more effort into it.
Yeah.
But why? If you're going to put out a multi-plat game, you're going to sell 10 million on PlayStation, but you're only going to sell 2 million on Xbox. So why put in the extra effort and time in making that the better version of that when you don't have to? Because you're going to sell more on PlayStation. So Microsoft probably, I'm sure, didn't see that coming with the multi-plat games that don't utilize everything the Xbox can do. Their first party obviously does at 30 frames per second, but going into Xbox whatever dumbass name they come up with next to the PlayStation 6, are we going to see the same thing? Is it going to be? It doesn't matter if it's better hardware, great for first party, but for third party, they're just going to go with the lowest, the whatever's, or not the lowest, but the highest seller, what they're going to sell more games on. And then it just rinse and repeat. So it's, go buy a PC. I mean, seriously. Consoles I just, the more I get away from a company like dictating what I play, when I play it, and how much it costs, I'm just much happier playing on PC where there are multiple stores and I'm not answering to one entity for all of that stuff. So something to think about, mull over.
So how many games do you play on Epic versus Steam?
Well, okay, but I play all the free ones on Epic. Whatever's free.
So I had to put that in there because Steam rules all.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Well, true though. I'm not paying to buy those games on Steam. I'm paying Steam to buy the game. I'm not paying them to use their service, or any service for that matter on PC.
Yeah.
So, that to me is the big thing, especially when, man, when these games, these developers just get, ape shit and just start, the message. On PC, there's so many things to play from developers that actually like you and want you to be happy with their game. And I appreciate that more and more from the little guys. And I am seriously out of focus. I don't know why, but who cares? It just makes me look younger. It's my de-aging filter.
But that's usually how like the industry goes as well. Like the AAAs will have their big space, and then stuff happens for whatever reason, and then we sort of go to the little guys, and that's what keeps the indie scene alive.
Yeah.
So we can actually see more like actually different ideas from indies, and they respect the people they're actually selling to. Yeah. Because if they sell 100,000 copies, they're grateful.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And speaking of which, Space Marine 2 just hit 5 million. So they said that they hit 1 million and they made money on the game.
Yeah.
How is that? They're doing something right, man. That's I don't know what.
I need to go back in and play that for the
that's one that I haven't played in a while.
Yeah. The patch is 4.5 was really good. They nerfed some stuff and of course immediately, brought it back. And then 5.0 should be out in, I guess, a couple of weeks maybe. But those, of course, I'm excited for the new operations. The game is, I will play it with anybody, but I don't actively play it anymore because I've gone through the content. But a new operation, I will totally jump in and do that. And then anything else, if they come up with, I'll be happy to get. While I anticipate Space Marine 3, which is definitely in the works now. So, my personal game of the year. It's just thanks Saber Interactive. So you guys got anything else? I think I wanted to end on a high note.
Yes.
But maybe just I want to say 2025. I'm hopeful. I'm we'll see what happens. But as far as AAA games, I'm just not excited about anything. Is Light No Fire? That would be considered AA, right? Right? Please say yes. I don't want to. That's not AAA, right? They're not really a AAA studio.
No.
They put out one game. We're gonna call them. We're gonna say they're still indie. I'm excited about that game. Very much.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that comes out soon. Also, The Thing remake or remaster is supposedly coming out. Well, they said November, but I don't know. Night Dive Studios is working on it. When this game comes out, don't sleep on it. This game was innovative in 2002. It was really interesting game. It just had poor mechanics, and I think they've fixed all of that. So check that out when it comes out. I am excited about that because I have played it before.
I mean, that's the original Among Us, right? Because it was like,
oh, absolutely.
It was like a trust feature built into the game, and if they didn't trust you, they could kill you, even though you don't know who the alien is, which is really fucking cool.
And this predates the second movie, the sequel, which was a prequel. This game was the prequel. This game was you were the place that it came from.
But they came out with a movie before. They came out with a prequel movie, but way later on, after the game.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that movie because they basically stole the idea. But this is, and I think John Carpenter had a little hand in this. I don't know, but
Okay.
He's not making movies anymore. Did you hear that? He's like, man,
Really?
I just want to play games. He did. He's
Good
like,
for
I
him.
just want to play games.
Yeah.
He's got a game coming out. John Carpenter's something that looks like a Mad Max game, or it looks crazy. We
It's
talked.
not gonna. It's gonna be. Now it's gonna be like Tom Clancy. He's gonna be like the new Tom Clancy. So like every game that comes out,
It's gonna be John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John
something.
Carpenter's Sock Warriors. I don't know, but
Rainbow Seven.
yeah, man. He's a huge Halo fan. He's
Nice.
he's a crazy dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming out too. So I'm a little excited about that.
Hopefully he doesn't get on Twitter, and then we'll continue to love him.
If he does, I've
All of our heroes stay away from not Twitter, X or whatever.
Right.
Just stay away from.
I don't know.
Social
Stay away
media.
from it.
If he does, I fear anyone that pokes a stick at that bear, because he gives zero fucks. People, you think Gen Z, Gen X is bad? Holy shit! Yeah, go talk to that dude. When who's the guy that remade Halloween? What's his name? Rob Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Rob Zombie called him before he did it. He goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm going to remake. I got permission to remake Halloween." And he said, "Well, what did John Carpenter say to you?" He goes, "Good luck. I don't give a fuck." It's like, why are you calling me? He's like, that's all he said. He hung up, and he's like, okay.
By the way, your last album sucked.
Right. He's like, I don't give a shit. Who dis? No, anyway.
He's like playing video games like this. Call me back later.
Right. I don't give a shit. I'm playing Call of Duty. It's better be important. But
I just sniped an 18-year-old, an 8-year-old in Black Ops. Call me
Right.
back.
I would love to know his screen name.
Yeah.
It's like his Steam ID.
J
Oh my
Carp.
God. J
Carp 28.
Right. Yeah. You know it's got like his year on the end of it or some shit.
Yeah.
49. I don't know. He's got to be in his 70s. Still married to Adrienne Barbeau, I understand, I think. Yeah. So, who does voiceovers now for games. So, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, works quite well.
Yeah. She's probably still attractive. Okay. So let's move on to next week. Next week we'll be back, and so that's pretty much it. I have no idea. We're gonna have to see what happens this week. I'm kind of it's getting to the end of the year. I'm like kind of scared. Yeah. But we do have the Game Awards coming up. When is it's on the 12th?
It's on the 12th. The Game
Okay,
Awards,
so we will have a show before that. So maybe we'll go over our what we think is going to show up, what trailers we're going to see. Yeah, or not see. So, all right.
So I know what the show is from the week of the 12th, because we just opened up with an Elden Ring won the lot. Good night.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably just pick the winners. I don't really care about the winners. I want to see the trailers. I want to see something. Yeah. I know I'm not going to get what I want. Just the one thing, but Gears of War on PC. But we'll see. Anything else is just kind of up in the air. All right, people.
Yeah.
Take care. Go play some games.
See you.
Be nice to one another. That's
yeah.
Please.
That's a theme.
Yep, that's an ongoing theme. Bye.